Hello everyone, Joshua Mike-Bamiloye, aka J Mikey here, and let me give a special greetings to our art explorers. Okay, so what is going on today? This is Easter period, and as we celebrate this, we want to draw something that happened revolutionary. For those who don't know, the Easter period is where we celebrate the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And the death happened in Golgotha, and that's what we want to draw, which is why we're drawing this wonderful little piece right here. And you too will be able to draw it using your art tools. Okay, so what are we going to require for this? Let me erase this so we can start fresh. What are the things that we would need for this work? So the things that we would need for this drawing, we're going to need you're going to need a piece of paper, of course, paper or cardboard, all right, or construction board. You're going to need pencil. You're going to need eraser, of course. Then you can either use pencil, crayons, or water color, or poster color. Yeah, that's basically all you would need for this construction. All right, so let's begin. So the first thing you want to do is your outline, okay? So what do you want to do? You want to draw the Golgotha. And remember I said that this is nature drawing or landscape. So of course, and remember what we talked about, our horizon. So for this case, this is the first thing I'm going to draw, and this will represent the horizon line, and here is going to be our sky, and here's going to be our land. Okay, now what do we want to do? First of all, we want to first of all do the obvious colors, which is the sky. Now if you want to color everything and you don't have watercolor and you have maybe poster color, all right, or you have only pencil crayons, if you use a very big cardboard, it might be difficult for you to color all of this, all right, without you exhausting your pencil. So what you can do is to get a smaller area, okay? Get a smaller area like so. Let me erase this. So let's say you have a cardboard or you have a piece of paper. You can just demarcate a small area like so. That this is the area I want to use for my design, okay? And so with that, you can draw you know, your horizon line. No, let's bring it lower. So let's say somewhere here, like so. All right, something like this. And now we can erase the excess. And now let's begin to color. So the first thing about the sky is normally sky is blue, right? But in this particular day, we don't want it to be blue because a lot of things happened that was unpleasant. So we want to use, a color within the range of I'm going to use the three colors right now. This color, okay, this color, this color, and let's say something a bit brighter. So this color, or something like this. Yeah, this color. So these are the three colors we're going to use. Is that okay? All right, so let us start from, if you're going to be using watercolor, it's much easier because you can easily blend. But if you're using pencil crayons, I'm going to be teaching us like we're using pencil crayon. So let us start from the brightest color. So the brightest color will be somewhere around here. So it will be here to here. All right. The darker color will be up here, and then the red will be up here. So this is where the red will be. This is where let's start from the brightest one, which is the light orange. Okay, so we're gonna shade a shade. Okay, we're shading. Okay, now we take the next one, which is this color, and then we shade, shade. Now two things you can do. You can either watch me do it and then you start all over again while doing it, or you can follow along. But what I want you to do is try and do it on a smaller surface before you try to do it on a bigger surface, so that if any mistake you've made, you can easily correct when you're making it bigger. Okay, now let us begin to blend. So I'm going to start from this one again. I'll try and color into, you see I'm blending now. Can you see that? I'm blending. I'm blending. I'm blending. Now I'm going to take the next color, blend it into the red. Can you see how I'm blending? Blending into the red. Can you see that? You can also take the red and try and blend it back into, yeah, something like this. I hope we can see it. So art explorers, I hope you're learning. Now, here's the beauty of shading again, and I want you to learn this. When you're shading with pencil crayons, try not to do something like this. Try not to do something like this. No, try to maintain a direction or the opposite direction. But don't be doing this. Don't do this. Don't do this. If you do this, it gives it an ugly look, okay? All right, let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue. Now, the next thing we want to do is to shade the land. And for the land, I'm going to first start with a much darker red, which will be, these are the colors we're going to use, and then black. So let's start with the darker red. This is the darker red right here. And then I begin to shade. There was something I forgot to mention, okay? When you are using your pencil to begin, you might not want to make your pencil too dark, okay? So that, you know, it doesn't affect the colors you are trying to create. All right. I hope we can see that. Let me shade it real dark. Okay, I hope we are together. I think I should get it darker red. This red isn't dark enough. Let's make it darker. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, this is it. So you see, and just like that, we have our two-tone color. Don't let there be white anywhere. Make sure you cover it up completely. Cover everything up completely. See that? Yeah, this looks good. This looks good. This looks good. All right. See, we've blended the darker red with the black. So black should be at the bottom. This place should have the black. And here, of course, the darker red. Darker red. Here should have the dark red. And just like that, we have our, feel. Now, if you want to do something else, which is something I didn't mention, but if you want to do that, let's say you want to create a sunset. Let us create a sunset. So we'll use white for this part. If you're going to create a sunset, that means you would have left out this space from the beginning, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't have to bother yourself too much about it. You don't have to bother yourself too much about it. So if I'm doing a sunset, okay, that means there will be a curve up here, somewhere around here. There'll be a curve right here, something like this. I'm going to use white. I hope you are following. So this is kind of like a sunset kind of feel. And then the orange. The orange will also spill into the red more, like here. Anyway, that's on the side. That's on the side. Let's continue. Now, the next thing we want to do is to add our cross. Okay, we want to add our cross. Let me erase all these excesses here. We want to add our cross. So let's first start using with a pencil so that we know exactly where the cross will be. For me, I want the cross to be here. I want the Jesus' cross to be right here. Okay, and then the other cross will be here, tilted a little bit smaller, and then the other one will be here, tilted to be a little bit shorter. Can we see that? Now that we are sure, we can thicken it. Let's thicken it now. Don't let it be too thick because it's supposed to be far away. Can we see that? right? Nice. I hope you've done that. Now, oh, for this red, I didn't fill up the red. We need to fill up the colors. We need to fill it up more. To fill it up more. Yeah. Yeah. Can I hope you see that? Yeah, I need to fill up the red more. All right, next thing we want to do is to add some birds in the background. So I want to put some birds. You want to put some birds like this. So this is the way you can draw your bird, right? The first one, the easiest one is this. Let me use black. Let's use black. This, right? This signifies a bird in the artistic sense. This is another bird. This is like the bird is about to flap his wings. Then this is a bird about to flap. So these are the three styles you can draw. Okay, so let's put that in our drawing. Very tiny. This, and then this. Can you see that? Can you see that? Yeah, this is looking really nice. Then, last but not least, we're going to put some foreground. So for the foreground, remember in your drawing, there's usually, not all the time, background, subject, and then foreground. So if the background is the sky, the subject is maybe the person standing, and then the foreground is maybe the leaves in front of the person, something like that. All right, so we've done background, which is our sky. We've done the subject, which is the cross, and our foreground is going to be maybe some leaves somewhere. So you can just draw something like a branch. So this is what we're going to draw, something like this, a branch. Okay, a branch, and then the branch will branch out again, and then you can put some leaves around it. Yeah, something like this. So that's what we want to do. So we put our branch like somewhere here. Yeah, like so. This. Yeah. To show that there was maybe a tree nearby. You understand? So, and then you can maybe shade it like so to have some leaves. And shading the leaves. So this foreground is optional. You do not need to do this. It's just for extra touch of anything that you want to add around the place, but it's not compulsory. It's not necessary, but it's good to have it. Yeah, and just like that, the last thing you're going to do is to put your signature, because every artist must have a signature. So for me, this is my signature at the corner, like so. So you to come up with a nice signature to put for your art. And just like that, we have our Easter drawing. So therefore, Art Explorers, I want you to try this out. Use any means you want. You can use your pencil crayons. You can use your colored watercolor, pastel color, whatever it is. But make sure you do something this Easter. And when you're done, you can even cut your cardboard to a square, so that it will fit the same dimension of your work. Try to fit the same dimension of your work, like so. When you cut it and it's equal, yeah. So you can print this out and frame it whichever way you want. I'll see you guys in the next drawing. So this is what we are doing for today. I want you to try this out and I want you to submit your work. And for those of us who are not yet Art Explorer members, if you're not an Art Explorer member, I'm going to send a link very soon on how you can join us and you'll be a part of the group chat. And make sure you register, because this month of April is still free for everyone to join. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.